Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com and Celebrity Spokesmodel for the ClassicsToday.com merch store, where you can get all sorts of ClassicsToday.com swag. So go get some. The holiday season is upon us. Now, ordinarily, first of all, because these videos are being made for, posterity, meaning far posterity, but also because it's not my religion and I feel I should, stay clear of it. I don't normally do Christmas stuff. I don't really do holiday stuff for anybody, but I do like to come up with an occasional treat for the holidays. And for those of you who celebrate Christmas and those of you who just like great music, see, it's got to work both ways, always. Has to work both ways. I do have a special holiday treat for you. It's Lutoslawski's 20 Polish Christmas Carols. Now, most people do not think of Lutoslawski as a guy who wrote or arranged Christmas carols, but before he became Lutoslawski, the big guy, the big important contemporary avant-garde type composer, he was a budding musician in the socialist realist country of Poland, where he did some folk song settings and arrangements. And the largest and greatest of them is this series. Originally, they were written for smaller forces, but in the 1980s, he eventually orchestrated them and arranged them for soprano soloist, female choir, and orchestra. And they are fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. These 20 brief little gems of Polish Christmas music. And they are so heartfelt and so beautiful. And the arrangements are completely not condescending. They're not syrupy. They're not tacky. They don't sound cutesy folksy. They sound sincere and heartfelt and spiritual, and I just love this work. Now, you can play them singly, you can play them in groups, you can do whatever you want, but if you do all 20 of them, they last about 40 minutes, which means you're dealing with things that they last anywhere from less than a minute to maybe 3 minutes. They're very brief, but they are exquisite. And Lutoslawski was one of the most sensitive composers around. Everything he did had a certain finesse. And, almost, he liked to set, texts after this period in French. And the French sensibility runs through his work. There's always that precision, the clarity, the care over word setting. It's all here. It's all here. I mean, they are in Polish. And, of course, you don't get texts or translations, which is unusual for Naxos. It's kind of a shame, but what the heck? I don't care, because this is such a great performance. It's with Olga Pasichnik, I don't know, soprano. I'm just going to say that's how you pronounce it. I'm not worrying. With the Polish Radio Chorus of Krakow and the Polish National Radio Symphony Orchestra, Katowice, under the redoubtable, always fabulous in this music, Antony Witt, who's just marvelous in Lutoslawski and Penderecki. And don't worry, we're going to be doing a lot of them both, too. Everything's coming eventually. But I really wanted to make a special play, or a special plea for these pieces, for your holiday season, because you've never heard anything like them, and you probably don't know them all that well. And it is that time of year. So instead of the usual stuff, try and get this disc. You also get, what else do you get on it? His 5 songs for female voice and 30 solo instruments, and his Lacrimosa for soprano, choir, and orchestra. It's all beautiful, beautiful stuff. But these 20 Polish Christmas carols, they're just to die for. They are so beautiful, so lovely and touching. And I mean, I listen to them as I do all of the holiday music when it's not the holidays, because it's just great music. I'm going to play you a couple samples just so you get a sense, because they're on Naxos and I can do it. Thank you, Naxos. First, we are going to hear, Hey, We Rejoice Now. And we do, and it does. And it's less than a minute long. It's also a miniature masterpiece. We could have stuck it in there as well. Maybe I'll file it there in the playlist just so you know. Here you go. Hey, We Rejoice Now. And then that was number 2 out of the series. And then I want to play you a bit of number 13. It's a little bit long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's called Jesus' Lovely Flower. And what an exquisite setting this is. I mean, you don't need to know the words. You can practically imagine them as they're sung. It doesn't make any difference. That's how vivid and beautiful the text setting is in these arrangements. Here it is, Jesus' Lovely Flower. It's great stuff. You owe it to yourself to hear it. Whether you're celebrating Christmas or not celebrating Christmas, you really should have this music. It's one of those hidden gems that people just really ought to know very well. Perhaps because of the Polish language, they haven't gotten the exposure they deserve to get. I don't know. I don't care. All I know is that they're great, and I wish you the very best for Christmas, the holidays, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating. Just do it with these. It will enhance the occasion. And that's what great music does, no matter what kind it is or for what denomination it was written for. Keep on listening, folks. Thanks for joining me. Take care.